Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Break It Down for Brackens podcast. Today we have Chelsea McBee. She's the owner of Wholistic Aesthetics and Elite Esthetics Institute. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me in today.
Wonderful. So first thing we do usually is we talk about somebody's background. This is a background podcast about where you come from, why you got into business, you know, the challenges, the successes, the typical format that we have. So go ahead and lead us out. Tell us about your background.
Well, I have been in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia my whole life. I grew up doing lots of different things, and in 2015 moved to Martinsburg, and in 2017 decided to change everything and go to aesthetics school to become an esthetician.
What was that inspiration? What do you think triggered that?
I really wanted to figure out a way that I could help people, that I could be one-on-one, engaged with people, and helping them feel better.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what aesthetics is, so can you educate me a little bit on that?
Absolutely. In its simplest form, aesthetics focuses on beautifying the outside of the body. So through skincare products, facial treatments, body treatments, hair removal, lash enhancement, any way that you can think of to beautify the outside of the body.
What are some examples of facial treatments?
All types of facials, so something as simple as facial massage that focuses on specific facial muscles or facial conditions. In conventional skincare, we have medical treatments as well, so a lot of people are very familiar with Botox, laser therapies, things like that to beautify the skin. And what else? Facial treatments. Use of LED light, dermaplane. I'm trying to keep it very simple for you. Your face is telling me that doesn't...
So, I mean, I'm just a dude, right?
You're just a dude.
And I'm thinking about an LED light on my face. I know women really like getting facials and taking care of their skin. Mm-hmm. I think most time men traditionally aren't making that a priority.
Sure.
I'd love to know what getting a facial does, and I know I'm jumping all over my agenda board that I'm staring at here. We're already in the educate me part. I think once we educate me, then we can jump into
some of the other stuff.
The
will
business
make more
stuff.
sense.
Yeah. So why does a facial massage, or a facial as it would be put? 'Cause I imagine it's lotions and other things, or just you got to break it down for me.
Yeah, a very basic facial treatment. You would come into the spa, lay on our table. Skin would be cleansed, exfoliated, nourished in some way, so through either ingredient or treatment, hydrated, and then protected before you leave. So moisturizer, SPF to protect your skin from the sun.
What would be my feeling after that's done? Is it something? I mean, I've never had a facial, so I bet it's pretty cool, but what is it doing for me?
Mm-hmm. In the moment, it's a very relaxing time. So have you had a body massage before?
Yes.
And so that time where you're giving yourself that hour to lay down and relax, it is a similar feeling when you're leaving there, except your skin of your face or your body, depending on the treatment, has really been shown a lot of attention. So that squeaky clean feeling, just hydrated, you would just feel happier about everything.
So then it's not just facial. It'd be, you could have like a full body skin conditioning treatment.
Sure, yeah.
What are some of I want to use the word chemicals, but I assume since it's called holistic, it's probably not chemicals. But what are some of the lotions or stuff you put on me? What would that be?
The word chemical, everything is a chemical, right? So even the water, because it's made of molecules, is a chemical. We do, at Wholistic Aesthetics, try to use only organic products. But for a facial treatment, cleansers, so different types of soaps that we would use on your face, and different types of exfoliants. So some are going to feel a little gritty on the skin, some might feel a little tingly on the skin, and those are to help remove dead skin cells that are on the surface of your skin. And any extractions, so any blackheads or blemishes can be removed from the skin as well during that time. And then massage oils, different oils and creams that we use to actually massage the skin. And massage is a really important part of our treatments because it helps to facilitate good circulation. So that's bringing all the blood with all the freshly oxygenated nutrients to the surface of the skin to help kind of give a boost to the new skin cells. So if we're removing all the dead skin cells, we want to give a boost to the fresh skin cells that are coming up to the surface.
Okay, I think I understand. And I know probably to most of the ladies who are listening to this, I sound like a clown. Just don't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm trying to figure out how this is a service for me. But facials, skin treatments, what other services does an esthetician offer?
Face and body waxing, so full body waxing, and hair removal. So there's other forms. Our particular we use wax, but there's sugaring and other forms of hair removal that estheticians can do.
Sugaring,
yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Similar to the waxing process, but the product is made of a sugar paste. Yeah. So
well, you know where my mind goes when I think of waxing.
Sure.
Right, the 40-year-old virgin.
Absolutely. That could be you.
I like the fleece fur that I have from head to toe, and there's nowhere to start and stop. Frankly, you got to either go from ankles to the head, or like I don't want fur shorts.
Yeah.
But do you also offer a massage therapy too?
We don't currently have any massage therapists.
Is that because it's outside of the esthetician scope?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, in the future, I see our business bringing on a massage therapist as well so that we can offer that service to people. For now, the body treatments that we offer include a lymphatic dry brushing. And
tell me more about that, please.
Yeah, the brushes that we use are really phenomenal and specifically made to help support lymphatic movement. Lymphatic movement and circulation is a big part of our practice, because so much of what we see on the outside of a person's skin is a reflection of what's going on the inside.
Let's dig into that education again, please. So
Sure.
What does a lymphatic system do?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Okay.
So the lymphatic system, if you imagine your skin, what you see on the outside, and then underneath that, I think for most people it's pretty easy to imagine the layer of muscle that's there, and then the layer of bone that's there too. So the lymphatic system lives in between the layer of skin and the layer of muscle. It is kind of like a waterbed through your whole body, and it doesn't have its own pump, but it's in charge of your immune system. So moving white blood cells around, it's in charge of bringing fresh nutrients to the cells and then removing the cellular waste. So as our cells digest, metabolize, die, they need to be moved. And the lymph system is responsible for that. Because it doesn't have its own pump, it's really helpful to stimulate it manually. And there's lots of different ways that people can do that for free at home. And it's really effective when a professional does that for you. And the same way, like if you sit on the edge of a waterbed, that ripple effect happens across the whole bed. So the same thing happens in the body. If I do a manual lymphatic drainage facial on someone where we're working just from the shoulders up, they're going to feel that in the whole body because of the way that the lymph system moves and is then manually pumped through the body.
And then, but you also do like full body lymphatic, not massage, but treatment.
Dry brushing, yeah.
Dry brushing.
Yeah, so the lymphatic dry brushing, it's a specific brush with bristles that are the closest tool that I've found that mimic very specifically the manual lymphatic pumping motion that we could perform on the face. But now we're able to do it through the whole body with these brushes. And then the brushes, you take one home with you. It's part of that treatment, so then it's something you can do at home every day to help facilitate even better results from that.
Wow. Okay. So moving past lymphatic treatment, What's another thing that estheticians do or that you offer at
Yeah.
Wholistic Aesthetics?
So we also do keratin lash and brow enhancement. I know.
Break it down
as
for
soon
me.
as I was saying it, I knew it was going to be. I want to preface any of the rest of the education by saying that these services, you mentioned that most women probably know like what I'm talking about, and that's true. Traditionally, it's we cater to the female population, and I think that it's mostly women that feel most comfortable seeking these types of services because of the pressure that's put on them as a society to maintain that youthful appearance,
Beauty. Yes,
the beauty, and those same standards are not necessarily applied to men. So you might not think to seek out these services. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't benefit from the services too. So I want to say that because there's no surprise that you wouldn't know necessarily what a lash lift is. But a lot of women like to have lifted lashes. I think that dark, thick, gorgeous lashes is a sign of beauty. And there are lots of different ways. So people could get lash extensions put on, which is one fake eyelash adhered to your natural lash to enhance that. It makes it look bigger and bolder. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's already done for you. You don't have to put on makeup every single day.
I think my translation of that is like the fake eyelashes look.
Yes.
I mean, it's dynamite.
Fake eyelashes.
It looks great.
Sure.
I didn't know it's called an eyelash lift.
Well, so those were extensions. The lift is your own natural lash. So we do a natural lash enhancement. And so it is your own natural lashes, but there's a keratin process that we put them through that makes them look like they've been curled and like you have mascara on. So it is kind of a little bit of an enhancement of your natural lash instead of that fake lash look. There's nothing wrong with the fake lash look.
I love them all.
We love it.
I love them all, yeah.
It's just not something that we offer at Wholistic.
It grabs your attention.
It does.
I don't know how or why, but when I was a child, my aunts or any woman that I met like age 5 to 8, I'd say,
Yeah.
they would always say, "Oh, look at those eyelashes. They're so beautiful and they're curled." And,
Yeah.
And I remember looking in the mirror going, what's the big deal about that?
Yeah.
But nowadays, because of the ability to, I guess, curl them or put like a fake one on it, it's appealing to the style that's definitely in right now. So I get that. Keratin, what is that? Just for my education, what is that?
It's a protein structure, and so the products that we choose to use, as opposed to some of the conventional ones, are helping to create a stronger, healthier lash after the treatment.
A lot of basic questions. Is it an injectable? Is it a cream? Is it a lotion? Is it a liquid? How is it applied?
There's a couple different gels, a couple different steps to the process. If you were going to come in and get your lashes lifted, then you would lay down on our very comfortable table again. Your eyes are closed the whole time. We have a couple different tools where we're going to adhere the lashes up over a silicone shield to create that lifted shape. And then we apply a couple different gels, and there's a heated eye mask to help with product penetration. And then we can also apply a tint to the lashes so that when we're done, it looks like you have curled and put on mascara.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would be so pretty.
Well, let's skim over a few more of the on me.
Yeah.
I don't even know the last time I looked at my eyelashes, so maybe they need it, maybe they don't. All right, so let's skim over a few more of the esthetician services.
Yeah, we've talked about some of the facial services, some of the
Waxing, hair
lash
removal.
and brow enhancement, and then we also have an esthetician that's an acne specialist. So lots of people, for lots of different reasons, deal with acne. And there's tons of marketing and tons of products and information available. And if someone has dealt with acne, then they've tried all of the things. And so we have very specific products and very specific treatments that help to get acne under control and maintained and keep skin clear.
I was really challenged with acne as a kid, and I got put on like some brutal medications.
Sure.
Brutal. And who knew? Who knows if it was the right move or not, you know? But a lot of it cleared up, but the side effects were just gross.
Yeah,
right?
terrible side effects.
And when you think of acne, I think traditionally you think of teenagers. And nowadays, how you look is so much more important for younger kids these days because it's so much online stuff going on. Is that service for teenagers also, or is it only for like adults that are challenged with it?
Yeah, 16 and up.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. It's important that somebody that's starting our program is really, that it's important to them that they're ready to commit to, because it's some lifestyle changes that we suggest, and you have to be really specific about the products that you use that are all acne safe, and be really regular with your treatments in order to see success.
Okay, good. This has been a good education for me, and some of it's over my head, but I understand it. I doubt I'm going to get my eyelashes done, but I'm definitely interested in the lymphatic thing and the, not quite massage, but I don't even know. We'll talk about it though. I'm interested to see what the vibe is like, you know?
Do you, with the work that you do you ever notice that you have a lot of neck and shoulder tension? I'm lucky that I don't. Do you have like rounds of headaches or migraines?
And I'm fortunate that I don't.
TMJ?
Mm-mm.
All right.
No, so
because those are some other things that we could help with specific facial treatments that wouldn't necessarily be just about making the skin look better.
Well, let's get vain for a second.
Sure.
I've got these usually in the morning, these little things that are all of a sudden showing up. I can pinch them and
a little puffy.
Yeah, they'll stay there, and sometimes it's over here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's bigger.
Yeah.
Actually, a year ago, I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and I woke up, and they were humongous.
Yeah.
I had puffy face. I assume it was the altitude or something.
Yeah.
But, oh my God. Sometimes I put this stuff on my eyes that's supposed to make that go away. Mm-hmm. The frick. Judge me, whoever's watching. But I'm just saying, I got some lotion from the guy that cuts my hair. He said it would fix my eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works. But I'm interested in, as I'm approaching the age 50, I'm interested in the longevity in aging well.
Yeah.
I am truly interested in that. So it's something I want to look into for sure. And I'm not interested in the more clinical effects of that services that are out there. I'm more interested in the kind of stuff that you do. I have a long background in massage therapy. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why I don't have a lot of the pains I have, is because not only have I had the treatments done after injury, but I also do a lot of prehab, I guess would be the word, getting ahead of things and making sure things are working correctly.
Yeah. So that's and you mentioned the cream for your eyes, and that's wonderful. And consistency is obviously key for that. But I want to make a comparison that I think you might understand. If I had a leaky roof and I have water damage on my wall, and obviously I don't like the way that looks, and so I'm going to just put a fresh coat of paint over the wall so I don't see that anymore. But I haven't really fixed the leaky roof, so that water damage is going to show up again. Right. And I could keep putting fresh coats of paint over it so that nobody else knows that it's happening. And in the end, that's going to be everywhere, right? Right. I'm going to lose my whole roof, my whole wall. Mm-hmm. So our approach is that we want to go in and find where the leak is, repair the damage, and then put the fresh coat of paint up and fortify that structure so that it's not going to leak anymore. So getting to the root cause of why you wake up with puffy eyes every day, think of the things that you could do every day to prevent that from happening, the treatments that we could provide to help expedite that process, and then you go on your way.
So it's kind of like massage therapy, or almost like yoga for your skin, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now Kevin Brackens understands the concept. Good. Let's get into the business part.
Sure.
So when you decided to become an esthetician, did you just get your certification and then get a job somewhere? Was that the move?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. I graduated from school, I got my certificate, took my licensing exams, and then got a job in a day spa. And I was there for almost a year and learned a lot about how I didn't want to do aesthetics and how I didn't want to treat clients, and learned a lot about what I didn't want to do, which is very valuable information, even
Sure.
if it was painful at the time. And in 2018, I decided to open my own business and do things the way that I thought they should be done.
That's ballsy. That's a big decision.
It's a big decision.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, without you explaining it to me yet, in my mind, like, do you become a traveling esthetician? Does that mean that you have to find a tiny studio, or like what's affordable in 2018? That's I'm trying to think back to that year. That's a year and a half before COVID. So things were getting pretty good economy-wise. Mm-hmm. So how did it go? What were some of the challenges getting ramped up?
Well, I'm not a business person, or I wasn't anyway at that point. So I really didn't quite know exactly everything that I was getting into, but I did know that I needed to do things the way that I think they needed to be done, and kind of change the industry and keep that focused in our area, because there's just, at that point, there was not as much focus on this type of work in our area. But people that are here want this type of focus. So I found a small room that I was able to use as a treatment room in downtown Martinsburg. And it wasn't ideal, but it was absolutely good for the time. I didn't have any capital. It wasn't something that I had really planned very far in advance to do. So I had a very simple massage table and a couple products and my hands, and that's really where it started.
That's a great story. I get that. So many businesses are started off as ideas or passions or just the energy, and almost like faking yourself out that if I believe in myself, I can do it. Doesn't matter what people around me say. I have a vision. I have a dream. I'm going to go after it. It sounds like that's what you started off as.
Yeah, very, very thankfully. One of my best friends from college, she and her husband were in a position where they could loan me a little bit of money to get some product, like to get some of the stuff in there that I needed. So I think that was $2,000 that she was able to loan me, and, very, very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because that was very helpful, and to know that she believed in me enough to be willing to invest that money was a good boost at the time, for sure.
People can pick up on the energy, They can pick up when you know you're going to get at it, and you have the drive. I mean, you had the expertise. So, are you still in that tiny space, or did you move to a bigger space?
No, I moved to a bigger space, just around the corner from the original space, actually. Right about the time it seemed like it was going to be necessary to move out of that space. That building was getting ready to be sold, and just things out of my control. And I happened to go a different way home from work one day and saw our current building on Maple Avenue, and the sign out front said for sale or lease. And I was like, okay, let me give them a call and see if I can lease this space, see what this is about, how much is this going to be? It's a bigger space. And I ended up knowing the previous owner of the building, and from my time as a musician years before, and he was like, actually, I really want to sell the building. And so then I jumped into that and was able to buy the building and renovate it, and again with just
barely getting it right.
Barely getting it.
It's so scary.
So scary.
I've been in business 13 years, and I'm thinking about a commercial space again, like right now, and I'm still scared.
Yeah.
I have money in capital to put towards things, but I am just nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I think business owners are a little beat up because not only do we have to deliver the service that we offer or the product, but we've got to be all the other departments too. So what were some of the challenges that still ring in your head from back in the beginning that you've overcome to be where you're at now?
In the beginning, it really was just me. Yeah. So like you're saying, wearing all the hats, and there's a lot of aspects of business that I'm not good at. Like, I'm not good at bookkeeping. I'm not good at taxes or like math in general. So very quickly, I realized that I needed to hire those things out so that I could focus.
And how expensive are they?
So expensive.
Stupid.
But the time I was trying to come up with solutions, right? So I found the bookkeeper that was highly recommended, and I hired her for a couple hours. Like, sit down with me, show me exactly how to maintain my books, help me out here, and then I can do this myself every month. So she did that, and it was great. She was very informative. She was very kind. And then the next month, I sat down to try to do everything that she had taught me, and it took me well over 15 hours to do what she could do in an hour.
I know, yep.
So I'm like, okay, but 15 hours of my time, if that's 15 facials, at that point, that's $1,500. Like, if I'm going to spend a fraction of that to pay her to do this, it's worth it.
I totally agree, but it's so scary when they're like, a month is probably going to cost like $700. You're like, how? What? Okay, no, I can't spend $700 on that. That's like at the time I remember being so new and just being like, that's totally impossible. I can't do it. And it was so intimidating. And bookkeeping really is one of the most important things to get into early because it's like a virus that spreads. It's so hard to get it all cleaned out. It's a nightmare. I'm 13 years in and I'm still struggling with the bookkeeping aspect of it. And then it's really hard to find the professionals you can trust. And then you want to trust the up-and-coming professional that's eager and willing to work with you, but then they're also ambitious, so then they might take too many clients, and what was good service might not be the best service.
Sure.
I've been there too, man. Even now I'm looking for a new accountant and ideally a bookkeeper, but I think I have some solutions for fixing that. But what other pieces do you remember being just, how come I can't get past this obstacle?
There was definitely a tipping point for me, and it was right at the beginning of, end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I was doing it all, and I am so thankful that the business was doing well and that I was busy, and that my complaint is that then I was so busy and I was working way too much and not spending enough time taking care of those other business things that would just get behind. And so then my website was behind, and getting caught up on emails was just so many other
growth
things. Yes. And when I first started the business, it was kind of an impulse, and I didn't have a 5-year plan. I didn't have a growth plan. I didn't know what it was going to look like at all. And then my sister approached me and said, like, hey, I think I want to be an esthetician. Is that okay? I was like, if you come work for me, it's okay. So that kind of set the ball in motion for kind of what holistic aesthetics looks like today, where I have a team. We have our spa coordinator that handles a lot of the stuff that I just can't handle, and then some really talented, passionate estheticians that can fill in some of that time and see clients.
I'm picking up that you're a little bit better at building culture. You're a little bit better at setting standards and expectations. And then the working on the business part, you almost have to hire out for, and bring the people who would do better than you. And God, is that a hit to the ego? I remember my first painter I hired that was better than me. Still questionable. But, I mean, we used to have races on who was the better, faster painter until I finally stepped out of it. But I had to hire that top performer, and that changed my business.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you've really been successful since making that sort of growth pivot. Each
person on our team definitely is better than me at something. And And I really love that. And it doesn't hurt my ego at all. Like when you talk about creating the culture and creating the space, creating a work environment that allows the estheticians to be like their happiest, healthiest, most autonomous selves is like such a passion of mine that I never even knew was possible when I was just like, okay, I just got to be in this business by myself and seeing clients all day, every day. And like how now my goals are like, how can I facilitate growth that supports really well-rounded and comfortable lives for other people?
That's the best, isn't it?
It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, my goal in my business right now with Brackens Painting is it's about growth, but it's more about if I keep the 18 painters that work for me, not just employed, but able to support their families or their lifestyles.
Yeah.
That's where it's weird how a business goes from being grinding and just getting it done and making sure your reputation is good to it's not even about the business. It's about running the business in a way that the almost like mental health or a frame of mind of your team, it's almost like a cycle.
Yeah.
Like it builds itself, right? You create that momentum and that culture. And I'm fortunate to have the freedom to sit here and have these conversations with you. And the phone's not blowing up. Like everything is running fine. And I trust. It's part of the pejorative term of selling out. It's like, you could be like the best esthetician, but then your colleagues like, she sold out and she went big and now she has 5 people working for her. It's business. The point is to sell out. If I could, the more I can sell out, the better. It's not always a bad term, but I was fortunate. I grew my company on the backs of people that I treated well and that I want to treat well, moderately overpay, and I'm kind. That's what I try to be.
Yeah.
I'm picking the same vibe from you too. It's that's really good. Congratulations on culture development on a basic level is very difficult to do. And then to continue to foster it is really a good feeling.
Well, thank you.
So at some point, the Elite Aesthetics Institute was a concept for you, and then you opened it. So let's jump into that chapter.
Yeah. That was inspired. So as I was bringing on estheticians and, I definitely have specific protocols that I wanted to train them on, but I was really blown away with how unprepared they were to step into the real life professional space. They're very intelligent, very passionate, and they just didn't have the level of training provided to them during their certificate programs that I think is required, that should be the norm. How do you get through an aesthetics program without ever waxing a leg? Like that's what I was dealing with then, and having to teach really fundamental basic stuff before they could move on to the more advanced protocols. And so at the time, I was working with another esthetician, Cecilia Perkins, and we got together and we're like, we're seeing that this is a problem. We need to start something new. Like, we kind of joked about it for a little while because she also runs a full-time aesthetics business on the other side of town, Artisan Fringe. And there's a lot to open a whole new business, but it became apparent that this is very important. We need to do this. Our area is growing, and the people that are passionate about this industry and want to step into this professional career deserve quality education. They're paying really good money for this professional certificate. They deserve really good education. So that's kind of what sparked this journey.
Well, it also provides strategic depth in a pool of talent that you can recruit. So they're trained your way. Mm-hmm. They are experienced in the components of being an esthetician that you consider to be important, and you have those high standards and high criteria for what's expected. I know we were going to possibly do a second podcast where we get more into the details of that, but I think we can go ahead and hit that now. So,
yeah,
this is a great segue because having strategic depth in an era of trained people your way, in an era when it's truly hard to find motivated staff, I think that's a real genius move. I wish I had a paint academy, but then I'd feel weird that I was training my future competition. So,
I hope I'm training my future competition.
Okay.
I do.
Well, I think that... So I've had key team members want to go out on their own, painters.
Mm-hmm.
They see the successes in the Brackens Painting Company, and they aspire to have those same successes and to provide for their family their way. They don't see
the
what's
back end
below the surface of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
And rather than encouraging them to go off on their own and to experience it themselves, I find a way to keep them in-house.
Sure.
I carry that below the surface weight for them, and I just provide them with more opportunities. They have more criteria, like your certifications.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't so much have a farm team or strategic depth in who I can recruit from, but I'm able to try to keep people who could be my competition closer to still produce and then make the money they want to make.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like a painting academy would be as long as an esthetician's certification. So it'd be easy for them to get the information and then go off on their own and then hit
and
strike gold.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden I got to battle with them.
Yeah.
You know?
And what I meant by that, I get, like, I am very passionate about this because absolutely I love the beautification part of what I do. And I do really think that the way that I teach things and the way that I'm encouraging my estheticians to approach clients and the treatments and everything, it's like really when people feel good, they do good. And so if everybody was like a little less stressed and a little less angry and like felt a little better about themselves, I think that really the world would be a completely better place. So I absolutely hope that every esthetician that passes through my door has an opportunity to grow. And if that means outgrowing what I can provide at any given moment, I hope they do that because there's so many people in the world and each client is going to resonate with a different esthetician. And man, I hope it gets bigger than I could ever even imagine, even if it has nothing to do with me.
I gotcha. So who would be the sort of client or who would be the sort of candidate that would apply to be in the Elite Esthetics Institute?
Yeah. Anybody that is interested at all in the beauty industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, so the potential for really life-changing career is there. Somebody that is interested and passionate, open to learning new skills. Our course right now is set up as a 5-month, 600-hour certificate course, and we meet Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., so we kind of do evening classes only right now so that people can still work their jobs, but go to school and get ready to change their career, their life in 5 months' time. So it is a lot of work. Somebody that's got to be a little self-motivated and can keep themselves on task and showing up and doing it.
So what is the curriculum like?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, explain to me like what week 1 looks like, and then
Sure.
when do things pivot or change a little bit? So
Yeah.
give me a little bit of breakdown there.
We have set up our curriculum in a path that the first several weeks are foundational stuff. So we're learning like safety and sanitation. Mm-hmm. We're learning the basics of customer interaction, the basics of like, there's a chapter on electrical safety, so that when they're in a spa working with different devices and lights and sound systems and everything, that they know how to safely handle even the simplest of that stuff. By week 4, we're moving into our first hands-on chapter. So we are doing our hair removal chapter. So that's when we really start to learn about the first thing in the scope of practice and the first chance that they have to do some like hands-on practice and practical work. And then from there, we alternate between a hands-on chapter. So we'll do the hair removal, and then we'll get into chemistry, and then we'll get into the facial treatments, and then we'll get into anatomy. We cover body treatments. This week, right now, with our current class, we're working on advanced treatments and topics. So we're getting into some of those bigger devices. We're talking about chemical peels. We're talking about microcurrent machines and galvanic current machines, and what those do for your clients and how to incorporate them into treatments. One thing that sets our program apart in a really big way is the amount of focus that we put on the hands-on training and the amount of time we spend talking about what to do when you actually get out there. So if a student is interested in starting their own business, we're going to walk you through exactly how to do that. Like, here's the Secretary of State website. This is what you have to do. These are who you need to talk to. Like, literally because when I got out of school, I felt like I didn't know what to do next, and I don't want them to feel that way.
It's hard. It's a hard transition. Let me back up a long ways here in this topic. Is it I know it's state regulated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean the state approves a curriculum?
Yes.
Okay. Do you translate the curriculum to how you teach it?
So there's two companies that have created the basic curriculum that is the requirement. So the state says, okay, this brand and this brand of book are what we allow. And like, this is what you need to teach to so that they can pass the state exam. This is the information that they're going to be tested on, that they're expected to know. So we teach that from the My Lady curriculum. And then we add a significant amount of lecture and practical in order to round out and fill in the gaps from the basic state required curriculum.
Are you the only quote-unquote professor or instructor?
It's myself and Cecilia Perkins. So we co-founded the school and we co-teach. So both of us are bringing in our own perspective, our own business experience, and able to share time with the class. So we alternate teaching nights.
That's really cool. It's a farm team. I love that. It's a way to find motivated types.
Yeah.
And then if you really like them, you can invite them to your company.
Mm-hmm. I got a text today from another esthetician that owns a business in Spring Mills, Skin Invidia, and one of our graduates has recently started working for her out there, and she sent me the biggest compliment today, just thanking me for sending this graduate her way, and that she was blown away with her base level of knowledge. She said, "You guys did a great job teaching them," and it was just like the best compliment. Yeah. Absolutely so proud. Coming from a professional that has worked with she's had other employees too that have gone to school other places. So that's our goal.
That's wonderful. So it's 600 hours, right, mm-hmm. of classroom and practical practice, right? Mm-hmm. And you're on the West Virginia Board of, what is that? Yeah,
the West Virginia Board of Barbers and Cosmetologists.
Barbers and Cosmetologists.
This is the governing board for the professional licensure in the state.
Okay. And then you get 600 hours done in 5 months, mostly and during the nights, mm-hmm. night classes, or afternoon and night classes. That's pretty amazing. Do you have any other success stories that you can share? Has anybody gone out and started their own deal?
Yeah. We had our very first semester of class, we had 2 sisters that were with us. One of them was with us for the Aesthetics program, which is the full scope of practice that we've talked about. And the other sister came to us just for hair removal, so waxing, sugaring, hair removal only. That's a shorter license. It's only 125 hours. And they, once they had both graduated, they actually started their own business together, which I love. And they're doing great. They're over in Hedgesville, and was very proud. And then I love to take the students on field trips to some of the local businesses to show them just what's possible. And so it was really a very proud moment to be able to take our second semester students to the brand new business of our graduates. And such a great moment.
That's so cool.
So cool.
You know, like in the painting industry, I'm a fourth generation painter. That means my dad, my grandfather, and my great uncle were all painters.
Yeah.
We're talking way back in the day. I pick my dad's brain probably 1 to 2 times a week. Do your former students ever call you and reach out and say, hey, I've seen this, or have you seen this, or what have you heard about that? Do you get that sort of feedback from them?
Yes, and we have a once a month estheticians meetup that we host at the school as well. So it's a Sunday evening, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a graduate to come to the meeting, licensed esthetician. Those are the rules. But it gives the students a chance to come in and kind of brainstorm and get feedback and ask for feedback, but really it gives us all a chance to vent or share ideas or give support and build that community over competition kind of vibe.
Totally. Yeah, it's a great network. Mm-hmm. As people find, I guess, commonality with their colleagues, they become a source of information and feedback, which is dynamite. Chelsea, you really got it going on.
Thank you.
First, let's do a call to action for the school. Like, if you were talking to a potential student or candidate for the school, what would you tell them? Why get signed up?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to get signed up? It's an intense 5 months, but the day after you graduate, you have everything that you need to apply for your state license and start a job the day after you graduate. So, our next semester starts at the beginning of July. We also keep our classes really small, so we only have 6 seats in each class available. Our current July semester is at capacity. We've started a wait list, though, and if we have another 6 students that are really excited about joining us in July, we'll open a second class. And then those students will graduate at the end of November, so before 2025, they could be starting their new career. I think that in and of itself is pretty motivating.
So you said it's every night, 5 nights a week?
Yes.
So there's no way to have like a second class start?
We, if there's enough interest and we are starting the second class, then that class would actually be a daytime class. It would be from 9 a.m. to 1.
Wow. Those are really cool growth plans. Okay, but holistic aesthetics, what do you say to somebody who's interested in wondering which one to choose?
Which treatment or which spa?
Which spa?
Yeah. So if somebody likes, in other areas of their life, if they tend to live a more conventional life, and if they're interested in things like Botox or chemical peels or lasers, there are several medical spas in Martinsburg that do great work.
Is that what med spa means? Medical spa? Oh my
medical
God.
spa.
I thought it was Mediterranean.
Stop.
I'm such a simple dude, man. That's like, I'm like, there must be something south of Europe that's they're bringing over here. So it's medical. That's good to know, man. Break it down for Brackens.
Yes, medical spa. So that's kind of a more like still beautiful but kind of sterile environment for those types of procedures. You have to be either a nurse practitioner or a doctor to perform a lot of those services. So if you're the kind of person that practices clean living anyway, is organic is important to you, and if you're really more interested in getting to the root cause and supporting your skin in the healthiest way for optimal skin, we like to talk about graceful aging and like really being excited about embracing that aging process. Then that's who would enjoy coming to see us.
When do you start working on gracefully aging?
Yeah, that's a really good question. 30s,
Okay.
like 29th birthday. Let's get serious about it.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good target.
Yeah. Before then, there's lots of things that we can do. We actually just put a blog up on the website, holisticaesthetics.com, talking about Botox being marketed to younger and younger demographics. So if you're in your 20s and getting all of this information from the internet that says, oh, I need to go be getting preventative Botox, but that maybe isn't your vibe, then the blog gives some alternatives that you could do. So if you want to start in your 20s and be proactive, here's some other things that don't necessarily involve a neurotoxin to help prevent some of those less popular signs of aging.
Gotcha. Yeah. Holistic. I kind of get the vibe there. It's more of, like you said, organic prehab is kind of my headspace.
Yeah, we spelled it the way that we did, WHOLELISTIC, because we really do look at the whole being, like what's going on in here, and how can we support that in the best way.
I picked up on that immediately when I was looking up your company. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug where to find Holistic Aesthetics and the Academy for people that are interested.
Holisticaesthetics.com is a great place. You can look at the list of services, read all the bios about all the estheticians, kind of put faces to names and see if one of them is your vibe. We're on Instagram very regularly at Holistic Aesthetics is our handle there. And then with the school, Elite Esthetics Institute on Instagram and eliteaestheticsinstitute.com.
That sounds good. I know you have your note board down there. Did we hit all the things you wanted to hit?
Essentially.
Was there anything we wanted to back up to? That's important.
No, I think we covered it all.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you've piqued my interest. I want to also age gracefully. I'm interested in this. I'm kind of eye rolling because I don't know how to take myself seriously. But the lymphatic thing.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about that. And maybe down the road we could come on talk just about that.
Yeah. After your experience.
That'd be fine too. Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah.
Because then you can just reinforce why to continue with it and what the prospective outcomes could be.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you say you're kind of like eye rolling at yourself about it,
it's the masculinity thing. It's just like ego, masculinity. Am I really going to go get a facial? I've never had my fingers done or my what's it called? A manicure. Yeah, I've never had one of those.
Yeah, I can't help you there.
No, but I'm saying like I'm not doing a lot of besides a regular haircut. Taking care of the external parts of my body.
Sure.
You know.
But body massage has felt important for you. Oh, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm tracking in a direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was more athletics and regular lifestyle. But, with age, like I said, approaching 50, I'm starting to see just different skin moves in my face.
Of course.
And then I do want to age gracefully, and if it's something I can afford, it's probably something I'll pursue. And then you're talking about the lymphatic treatment being stuff where it enhances or helps with what's the word? Immunity system. You said the immune system and other functions. If I'm ignoring it, I really should just research it and see how it can help. Well, and
I just one of the things that I am really passionate about is that for somebody to come in because of a quote unquote vanity issue, and then to really spark that curiosity and that excitement of like, well, wait, what is going on internally, and like how much better could I feel? So it might start out as that vein, like, yes, of course we all want to like look our best, right? But whoa, once we start getting into like, what is the lymphatic system actually doing, and how is inflammation caused by all of the things all the ways that we live a conventional lifestyle, how is that affecting my skin? And I promise that if you were to incorporate a lymphatic, even just from your ears to your shoulders every day, 5 minutes, you would notice a significant reduction in your under eye puffiness.
See, I want to work on that. And when I was doing the eye roll, it's like, oh my God, if any of my boys are this deep into this conversation, which I think is unlikely, that the dude friends I have listened about aesthetics, but I can imagine the little bit of ball bustery that would come, oh, how'd your facial go? That kind of nonsense. So I'm interested in doing it for certain. And I mean, I have my hair and beard styled when I'm aggressive about it. So I definitely want to learn more. So count on me.
Excellent. Can't wait to have you in.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much for being willing to have a conversation about aesthetics.
No, it went really great. And the Break It Down for Brackens podcast, as amateur as it is, it's truly, I think the tagline is learning about things I thought I already knew. And this is a great example that I've been truly educated in not only what do estheticians do, but about how you got your business up and running and the challenges and why you're the company to come see. So, and I now know what med spa means, which is embarrassing. Oh my God. So, but I think that wraps us up.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Kevin Brackens. I'm one of the coaches with Crystal Clear Business, and I'd like to invite you to schedule a free coaching session. I look forward to chatting with you about your business plans and offering the accountability we all need to achieve business success and freedom. As a business owner myself, I understand the challenges, time commitments, and the fear of the unknown. Coaching is about helping you develop a success-driven mindset and, equally important, a systems-dependent business. Whether it's getting started with a new product or service line, or growing your existing business through formalized systems, I can help get you there. To find out more about my services and to schedule a complimentary coaching session, go to crystalclearbusiness.com.